Spoiler warning for HBO's upcoming show, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. I believe that Sir Duncan the Tall is not a knight at all. And I know that sounds kind of crazy considering he becomes Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, but if you go back and read the novellas, specifically Novella 1, The Hedge Knight, the story doesn't ever actually support him ever being properly knighted by Sir Arlen of Pennytree. The first piece of evidence that I have for this theory is just what Sir Duncan the Tall thinks after Arlen of Pennytree dies. Dunk's official story is that Sir Arlen of Pennytree knighted him right before he died. He says he called for his longsword, told me to kneel, touched me on the shoulders, said some words, and when I got up, he said I was a knight. Which sounds relatively clean when he's explaining it, but it doesn't line up with everything else that he thinks during Novella 1. Right after Sir Arlen dies, Dunk's completely lost at that point in time. He's digging the grave and thinking about joining the City Watch, or just possibly finding another hedge knight to squire for, and it is really quite odd for a hedge knight to consider squiring for another hedge knight, or joining the City Watch. If he was actually properly knighted, his first thought should be just being a knight elsewhere. This is further supported later on in The Sworn Sword, where when Lady Rohan asks Dunk who knighted him, Dunk's response is really awkward and he actually blushes. A hedge knight named Sir Arlen of Pennytree took me on as a boy. He taught me chivalry and the arts of war. But when she pushes him further and asks, "And this same Sir Arlen knighted you?" Dunk looks down at his feet and blushes, saying no one else was like to do it. And that's not him truly confirming that he was properly knighted. If anything, it supports the exact opposite. And whenever Sir Duncan the Tall is interacting with anyone who questions how he was knighted, he often looks down at his feet or has some sort of nervous tic, showing us that something is off with his explanation, and Sir Duncan the Tall is not a very good liar. But back to the Hedge Knight. Throughout Novella 1, there is a constant thread of people questioning Sir Duncan the Tall's knighthood, and Dunk questioning what it means to be a true knight as well. The opening scene where he meets Baelor Breakspear revolves around the idea of people not buying that Dunk is a true knight, and Baelor being the only one to support the idea that he does know who Sir Arlen of Pennytree is, and that it is possible that Duncan is an actual head knight, although they don't have hard confirmation. Later during the Hedge Knight, after Sir Duncan the Tall is in a cell for punching Arion in the face and breaking a bunch of his teeth, Egg sneaks in, and they have this really heartwarming heart-to-heart. Egg says his father wouldn't let him squire because of his position, and Dunk thinks this. He knew what it was like to want something so badly, you'd tell a monstrous lie just to get near it. And the only lie that Dunk could have possibly told, up until this point, that could be truly monstrous, is his identity itself being the monstrous lie. Duncan the Tall wanted to be a knight so badly. He wanted to be like Sir Arlen so badly that he was willing to lie in order to achieve it, and that is why he understands how Egg feels in this moment. And one of the most interesting parts about Baelor Breakspear and his relationship with Dunk is I believe Baelor knew this. Right before Dunk's trial by 7, Baelor comes to meet him while he is in his cell, and he has this to say. "You have another choice, though," Prince Baelor said quietly. "Whether it is a better choice or a worse one, I cannot say. But I remind you that any knight accused of a crime has the right to demand trial by combat. So I ask you once again, Sir Duncan the Tall, how good a knight are you? Truly." And the emphasis on that truly tells me everything that I need to know, not only about Baelor Breakspear, but about Duncan the Tall's status as a knight. In this moment, Baelor essentially tells Dunk that he knows he is not a true knight, that he has not been properly knighted, But in the grand scheme of things, due to the fact that Sir Duncan the Tall is just a quality person, the fact that he wasn't actually properly knighted doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter to Baelor Breakspear. And this dynamic that him and Baelor have regarding Dunk's knighthood is one of the best parts of Novella 1. Then, directly before the Trial of Seven begins, Dunk realizes that he is down men, and Sir Raymond Fossaway asks Dunk to knight him so that he can fight by his side. And Sir Duncan the Tall just doesn't feel comfortable doing it. "Knight me," Raymond put a hand on Dunk's shoulder and turned him. "I will take my cousin's place. Sir Duncan, knight me." He went to one knee. Frowning, Dunk moved a hand to the hilt of his longsword, then hesitated. "Raymond, I should not. You must. Without me, you were only 5. "The lad has the truth of it," said Sir Lionel Baratheon. "Do it, Sir Duncan. Any knight can make a knight." "Do you doubt my courage?" Raymond asked. "No," said Dunk. "That's not—" But still he hesitated. A fanfare of trumpets cut the misty morning air. Egg came running up to them. "Sir, Lord Ashford summons you." The laughing storm gave an impotent shake of the head. "Go to him, Sir Duncan. I'll give Squire Raymond his knighthood." And this passage is a dead giveaway that Duncan the Tall is not a true knight. Firstly, I just don't even think he knows the proper words, since he never heard them previously from Sir Arlen. But more than that, the reason that he doesn't want to knight Raymond in this moment is because he does not want to dishonor the lad. Dunk knows that he's been lying this whole time, that he isn't a real knight. Therefore, if he were to attempt to knight the squire, he would be dishonoring him, and maybe even possibly cursing him for being a false knight. And that's something that Duncan the Tall just can't have on his conscience. It's bad enough that he's lying about his own knighthood. To lie about someone else's would be just far worse. And then, during the worst of the trial by 7, Dunk thinks this: "I've failed them. I am no champion. I'm not even a hedge knight. I am nothing." And in this moment, while Sir Duncan the Tall is at his lowest, he admits to us and to himself that he, in truth, isn't a knight at all. And it's only after he wins, after he beats Arion and the crowd cheers, he wonders, am I a knight now, in truth? And this line just resolves Duncan's issue throughout Novella 1. Novella 1 is completely and utterly concerned with what it means to be a knight, and I think it is truly beautifully poetic that Sir Duncan the Tall, the truest knight of them all, was never actually properly knighted. And my last piece of evidence that I want to bring up for why I believe Dunk isn't a true knight in Westerosi's sense is actually the narrative implications for his parallels with Brienne of Tarth. In the main Song of Ice and Fire series, Brienne of Tarth is the current gold standard for what a true knight looks like, even though she's a woman and hasn't actually been properly knighted. Jaime constantly talks about how Brienne is the perfect image of what a knight should be, and Brienne just in general embodies what it means to be a true knight. She stands up for justice, she tries to do the right thing, she tries to keep all the oaths that she makes, and just deep down she is a genuinely good person. And even though she's a woman and not a true knight, she is a more true knight than any of the true knights around her. And I believe Duncan the Tall is meant to be an earlier version of Brienne of Tarth, and this makes a lot of sense considering she is a descendant of Duncan the Tall to begin with. So with all that being said, I firmly believe that Dunk was never a true knight to begin with in terms of Westeros's standards for what a true knight needs to be. But the beauty of it is it doesn't really matter, because through being a good person, through doing the right thing, through caring about the little guy that no one else pays attention to, Duncan the Tall is a better knight than all of the true knights around him put together. So with all that being said, if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching, and please let me know in the comment section down below what other kind of videos you want to see from this channel, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace.